Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Getting into the weekly outlook, starting with the DXY on the daily, we got 5 down, looking at an A, B, C, and then the larger C up. We haven't finished this B wave in here, the internal B wave in here. So if I just go back to the daily, so when we were down here, I was looking for at least the 38.2 and possibly the 50 fib. Now it looks like a few weeks ago I said, you know, this is still looking bullish and will more than likely get up to that 50 fib. So we're starting to climb up to that 50 fib. On the H4, we got that 5 up, and we're looking at that as possible the end of the wave, but then we got that A, B, C down, not breaking the trend line, and then we were looking at this as the flat here for more upside. I was just sort of looking for an A, B, C up here. I was just looking for an A, B, C, an A, B, C. We're looking for this C up, but we lost all the bearish divergence. So this is, it's turned into a WXY or a motive structure. So we can quickly change that to so really now, all you can really do is wait for this wave Y to be over, and then wait for your wave X2, and then you can look for that Z up. Very risky to be, I mean, you can look for flags on the lower time frames in here. We go down to the H1. If we draw the fib, we're at that 123.6. So if you're getting flags, you know, you'd be targeting this 161.8. So if you get a flag in here, you can't, there is no bearish divergence, so you can trade flags, and you'd be targeting that 161.8 if you're looking to buy this. And then wait for your X2 on the H4, and then you could look for the, you know, that 50 fib as your target in wave Z. AU on the daily. So we're looking at that W, X, Y, X2, and then the Z down to these targets, 123.6 and the 161.8. There is a chance, if I just zoom in, there is a chance that this can turn into like an A, B, C in here as a running flat, or expanding, and then give us an A, B, C as a larger correction. It won't be it'll be a bearish structure still, but it won't be a Z down like we're looking for at the moment. But we can't rule that structure out. When we were down here, I was just looking for that. Once we got this down here, I was looking for that, just an A, B, C, but we didn't get that bearish divergence. So that's why I say it can be a flat in here, and we get another one up as a larger correction, and then we get the one down. On the H4, we did get that. We did get that A, B, C up to the 100 fib. It bounced clean off that 100 fib, and we did have bearish divergence. So we were looking for our sell setup a couple of weeks ago. Any sell setup you get on the H1, you'd still be in it. I'm still in this trade. So this was your first setup here. So I got in it, like I said, I got in at break of the low of the day a few weeks back. So I got in the break of the low of this candle here. That was actually the break of the low of the day, and I'm still in this trade. We are getting bullish divergence here. So on the H1, we got a WXY, X2, wave Z. This was our larger correction here, and then we got more downside between the wave Z and this move down here. We don't have any bearish divergence, bullish divergence. So you'd really need to go down to the lower time frame and see if you get bearish hidden divergence in here. More than likely you'll get a bearish hidden in this move up here, and then you'll get another one down for it, like an A, B, C. I should point out, the only way I'd be buying this at this stage is you really need to break this top. You need a nice impulse up, then your larger correction, your H1 correction, and then buy to take out that possible bear hidden that's on the lower time frames. Because we already have a bear hidden here on the H1, so you don't even need to go down lower time frames. We've already got that possible bear hidden here with this move up. So, you know, if you get a sell set up, you can look for that sell. And like I said, if you're looking for a buy, you really want to take out that possible bear hidden before you look for a buy. EU on the daily. EU, I was looking at an A, B, C. So I was looking for that C up. It's gone, like, if we look at this as an A, if we look at this as the A, B, C, because we do have bullish divergence here, it's gone past the 100 fib. So if it was going to go for that wave C, it really should have gone from, you know, around the 100 fib and gone from here. Instead, it's continued down past the 100 fib. And if we look at this in here, this has gone past the 100 fib as well. So it's down to around the 123.6. So it's really not playing the game, giving us that C up to sell on the daily. So the structure on the daily at this stage, it's unclear. So this was our A, B, this was our larger correction here. If you followed me back here, we had that bearish divergence in here. We were looking for the sell. Here was your flat in here for more downside last week. If you're not in that, there's not really much you can do. You can only sell this. Like, you can only look for sells on the H1. If you get any sort of correction in here, break of the trend line, bearish setup, you know, look for the sell, because we don't have any bearish divergence between these two top bottoms here. And I'm not sure if we have bearish divergence. Yeah, see, we've lost the bearish divergence in here as well between this low and this low. We don't have any bearish divergence. So we're looking at a WXY, wherever this wave Y ends, an X2, and then a Z down. So whether you want to, I'd be waiting for that X2 and then look for the Z down. Why this trend line here holds, you don't really want to be, because more than likely this will give a bear hidden. You'll get a bear hidden here in your X2 and then a Z down, giving you that bullish divergence. before you can look for the buy. GU on the daily. So this one's playing out nicely. We've got an A, B, C. This one has broken that low, which is nice. We really wanted that one to break that low, and it's done that now. If I zoom in. So we're looking at that 100 pip target, that first as your first target. But I would have been taking half off at the break of this low, because now we are getting that bullish divergence. We're getting bullish divergence. On the H1 last week, like I said, we get a bear hidden here and we'll get another lower low, and that's exactly what happened. We got that lower low and we've got bullish divergence. So really, if you're looking for the buy, you know, you want to break out of the trend and then look for your buy. I mean, if you're looking for the sell, you can really only sell under this low here now. Sell stop, and you know, if it does come down, tag you. Well, this would be your stop loss. But yeah, it's because we're starting to get that bullish divergence, very risky to be looking for the sell until you get the larger correction. NU on the daily, this one's quite difficult, like I've been saying, because unlike the GU where wave C went and broke this low, on NU, it never went and broke that low. So I said this can turn quite complex. It's an unclear structure. Here we have a higher high here, but we don't have any bearish divergence. So we have to go down on the lower time frame to see what's going on. On the H4, I was looking for this like W, X, Y, X2 down to this 38.2. It got to the 38.2, gave us a nice impulse up. Didn't give us a flag up here though. Instead, it just fell over, and now we don't have any bullish divergence. Because at this stage here, when it was here, we did have that possible ball hidden, so you could have looked for that Z up, but you didn't really get a buy set up to trade it. So now you can really only look for the sell. We can't look at it as a Z up if it breaks the top. So I should remove that. On the H1, we don't have any bullish divergence. So you can only really look for sells. You know, and you got a trend line in here. So yeah, I'd be staying out of this because it's unclear on the daily. If you were going, you could only look for shorts though, because we don't have that bullish divergence. So if you went down on the lower time frames, maybe this is an A, B, C up in here, sell stop at the low. If it triggers, well, that's your stop loss, and you just keep on following it down, moving to break even. At this stage, I wouldn't be trading this, but if you're looking to scalp it, you know, you can really only sell because we don't have that bullish divergence. UY on the daily, like I've been saying, this is still looking very much bullish up here. So we're looking for that 100 pip target, and it still is looking very much bullish. It hasn't fallen over. On the H4, we're looking for this WXY, X2 down to this 38.2, and then a Z up. We haven't got down to that 38.2 fib retracement to give us that risk reward. And like I said last week, we're looking for a correction a similar size to this in here. So that's why I said last week, you know, this can, you really need to wait for the time factor before you look for the buy. Even now, if I just give us a time factor. So it still has a little bit to go to give us that time factor. It's quite difficult on H4 because we've lost that bullish divergence. So between this low and this low, we don't have that bullish divergence. We've broken this top here without bullish divergence. So you can really only look for the buys. And it's quite risky because we haven't finished that time factor on the H4. I'd be only buying above this top and looking at that as an A, B, C in here for expanding flat. And then, you know, if it tags you, this will be a stop loss. At this stage, there is no buy set up and there is no sell set up either. We've broken this top, so we can't look at it as very risky to be selling because we lost the bear hidden. So it's very risky to be, you know, if you do get a sell set up in here, a bearish flag, well, you're only scalping it, you know, just for an A, B, C on the lower time frames. You know, so if you are selling, it's only scalping. You're more interested in a buy setup, in my opinion. The Swissy, and like I said on the UY, on the daily, it still looks very much bullish. On the Swissy, we're looking for that A, B, C in here because we bounced off that 100 fib, like I said a few weeks ago. So we're looking for this like A, B, C up in here before we get the larger A, B, C, and then we get that larger A, B, C. So we're looking for buys as soon as we bounced off this 100 fib in here a couple of weeks ago. I'm in this buy here and I'm still holding it. We've broken out of this trend line. There was a possibility that we get a WXY X2 and a Z down. This one here didn't go and break that low, and we've broken out. So any buy setup you get, look for the buy, and you'll be targeting that 100 fib up in here. I'd be targeting this 100 fib, and that's what I'm targeting. So if you get any buy set up, look for the buy. Cable on the daily. Like I've been saying for ages, whatever happens in here, I'm just looking at it as correction, and then we get that C up. We have crossed up here now on the MACD. So if we go down to the H4, I was looking for this WXY X2 and then the Z down. Again, this one never went and broke that low, making it very difficult because we really needed this to break that low, giving us the bullish divergence and the Z down. Instead, like I said last week, now we have to look at that as an A, B, C as a flat in here, and we get another one up, and that's pretty much what's happened. So if you've got any buy set up, like I said last week, you know, you look for the buy. If you're in the buy, you'd definitely be at break even. We don't have any bullish divergence on the H1, so you can really only look for buys. Maybe you get a little A, B, C in here, and then you'd be looking for trend line break, little flag, and looking for your buys. You can really only look for the buys. More than likely, this will give whatever happens in here, it'll give you that bull hidden, and then you look for your buy setup, and you look at least to go and break that top. GY, on the daily, so this one's complete as a structure. We got a 5 up as an impulse, WXY, X2 and a Z up. It only got up to the first target of 123.6. We've got the cross down on the MACD. So you really only want to be looking for the sells on the daily time frame. This still is possible bull hidden here, like I said last week. So we get a, well, as a larger correction, because we're only looking for that WXY back down to the 38.2 as your X2 and then a Z up. It's gone straight through, well, it's gone through the 50 as well as the 38.2. So it's not going to be a Z up. It's more than likely, I dare say, this is a bull hidden here. I'd be only looking to sell under this low because we have a possible bull hidden here. On the H1, it is starting to get choppy down the bottom here. Like I said last week, we did have that bullish divergence there last week, I think. We're getting bullish divergence here now anyway. So you can really only look for the buy. You really want you've broken out of this trend line with bullish divergence. So I'd be only buying once this top here is broken. I'd be waiting because this is still looking very much choppy. You know, it may still give you more downside. When we get these like lower lows and they're not going anywhere and deep corrections, these can go on for a long time. They can just drag on for a long time before it breaks out. So I'd really only be looking for the buy if you get an impulse up, breaking that top, and then look for your flags or a correction to give you a buy setup. Until that happens, I wouldn't be buying. And you really can't sell it either because at this stage, because we already have bullish divergence. So you really need to wait for an impulse up, a buy setup, and then look for the buy. EG on the daily, looking at WXY, X2, wave Z down. It bounced off that first target, the 123.6, and we've got a nice impulse up with the cross. H4, we're starting to get our first correction now. So we get an A, B, look for that C up. Really need this here to go and break that low. It hasn't quite done that yet, but we'll be looking for that to break that low. And then you'd be looking for that C up. It's too early to draw the target because we need more downside in here. We need that low to be broken, trend line break, bullish setup, and look for that C. Gold on the daily. So if I just actually zoom out here, because on the weekly, we're looking for this time factor for the X2 and then the Z up. So like I've been saying, well, for the weekly, you know, we're looking for this can turn really corrective in here, giving us the time factor before it actually goes. And we're seeing that in the price action. We got I was looking at WXY X2 here because we had that bear hidden, and then I was looking for this to go and break the low. It never went and broke the low. Instead, it gave us that 3 down, not breaking the low. So then we were looking at A, B, and a C up. I was just looking for that bullish setup in here to go up to that 100 fib. Instead, we got this deep correction in here, and then it's going. So it is becoming quite complex to trade. We don't have any bearish divergence in here. So you can really only look for the buy. It's bounced off that 100 fib on the H4. If we just go down to that H4, see, H4 was quite difficult as well, because we're looking at an A, B, C to start off with, and it's actually got up to that 100 fib, but we've lost all the bearish divergence. And then we got all this in here. So there was that possible A, B, C in here down to this 100 fib, and then you get that larger A, B, C. Instead, it gave us all this in here, and then it took off, which makes it very difficult to trade. It's not giving clear structures. We had we never had any bearish divergence in between these two here, and then it's gone and broken that top. So I said you can really only look for buys. So, yeah, it's really here. If we look at that last piece, this is very difficult to trade here too, because this one here has broken this top. So this, we can only look at it as a contracting flat. And now we got bearish divergence. I wouldn't have traded this at the break of the top, because it's a contracting flat. Contracting flats, very difficult to trade, and you're never going to know. They're very risky trades. But you can see that we've broken that top now. So, and we have bearish divergence on the H1. So I'd be only looking for the sells. And we're at that 100 fib as well on the H4. So if you do get a sell setup in here, I'd be more interested in the sell setup than looking for, if you do get a bullish flag in here and you do buy it, you're only really scalping, because we are going to get that. More than likely, we will get bearish divergence. We'll get bearish divergence in here. So if you're looking for the buys, you're really only scalping. But on the daily, there is still room up to that 100 fib. So, you can look for the buy, and I'd be more inclined to scalp it though, and just scalp up to that 100 fib. You get a bullish flag, scalp, get out, get another bullish flag, scalp, get out, get another bullish flag, scalp, get out, until you get up to that 100 fib. But we're already starting to get bearish divergence, so very risky to be scalping as well. WTI on the daily. So we're looking at that WXY, X2, and then the Z up. It got up to that first target. It's still looking very much bullish. It hasn't fallen over, so can't rule out more upside. And we do have that monthly 100 fib, like I've mentioned in previous videos, up here. This yellow one up here, 92, 97 area. On the H4, we're looking at WXY, X2, and then a Z up. It never went and broke the top in the wave Z. So we can now only look at it as like an A, B, an A, B, C in here as an expanding flat, because I think this one may have broken that top there. Either way, running or expanding flat here for an A, B, C. So you can really only look for the sell and break that low, and then you can only look for a buy as a larger correction. It's not going to be a Z up. It's going to be another impulse like this was, A, B, C. Yeah, because we don't have any bullish divergence in between here. So really we can only look at this stage as a flat for an A, B, C. If we go down to the H1, is it giving us a sell setup? See, we got bear hidden here. Did we get bear hidden on the H4? See, we got bear hidden on the H4. We got bear hidden here. So there's a good chance that this will go and break that low. So if you do get any sell set up, look for the sell to go and break this low. We could look at this as an A, B, C in here. Put a sell stop at the low here. Use that as your stop loss, and then sell. But really, we want this wave up here to cross up before you put that sell stop on, unless you're looking at a lower time frame to sell this. Bitcoin on the daily. So we got the X2 and then a Z up, breaking the top. We don't have any bearish divergence here. So like I said last week, more than likely we'll get, well, it didn't do what I was looking for last week. I was just looking for an A, B, C in here, possibly going back to this trend line and giving us a bull hidden. And then you can look for that buy. We don't have any bearish divergence, so you really want to wait, because this is looking like an A, B, C in here. Whether it's going to be running or expanding, we don't know. Yeah, if you go down to H4, we got the 5 up. Like I've been saying, go back in the other videos and you'll see the Z up. We didn't get the bearish divergence in the Z up. So we were looking for this back down to this 50 fib retracement to give us that risk reward. We really need that risk reward before you can buy. It was a nice buy setup in here, but and it hasn't given bearish divergence between these tops. So possibly it can give us a bull hidden here, and then without breaking this low, and then if you get a buy set up, you can look for that buy to go and break that top. But at this stage, we've bounced off this trend line. Do we have bull hidden? See, we don't quite have that bull hidden. I wouldn't be buying unless you got that bull hidden first. Because over here and over here, we got bearish divergence. So yeah, you really need, like I showed, really need A, B, C as a running or expanding flat before you can look for the buy. I'd be looking for break of this trend line, break back above the trend line, and then look for your buy setup. That as a flat in here. That's the only way I'd be looking to buy it. And you can't really sell it either until you take out that possible bull hidden. So if you're looking for the sell, you want to take out that possible bull hidden and then look for your sell. And then it's going to be risky as well, because this is like 3 waves up in here. You got 1, 2, 3 up in here. So breaking the top. So very risky to be selling as well at this stage. You really need something clear before you can actually trade this, before I would trade this. SPX keeps on going up. We've breached the 100 fib. We've got even getting more bearish divergence. Very risky to be buying up here, like I've been saying. So we're looking for WXY X2 back to the 38.2 to give us the risk reward before we get that Z up. Again, I don't think we got bull hidden here. So we never got any bull hidden here either. So very risky to be buying. If you go down to the H1, very risky to be buying. Extremely risky to be buying because we have a possible bear hidden here for a WXY. And then we're looking at this as a larger correction in here for a possible bear hidden, and then another one down, maybe down to this 38.2, the first target if you're looking to sell. I'd be more interested in the sell, and you can't really buy unless you take out this top here with the bear hidden. So if you're looking for the buy, I wouldn't have brought this. There's no way. We didn't have any bullish divergence and possibly getting bear hidden. If you're looking for the buy, you really have to wait for that top to be broken, and it'll be on the lower time frame as a like WXY, and you'd only be trading the Z up, possibly go and break that top, and then you'd be getting even more bearish divergence. So yeah, you'd only be scalping on the lower time frames at Z up. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook this week. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.